Hi guys. All right, it's 4:18 p.m. and Tuesday pa. Tuesday. Ka-live ko lang pala kaninang madaling araw. So, yun. Andito ulit ako, guys. So, medyo ano yung description ng live ko ngayon. Well, just thought of it. Medyo apparent lang yung pagiging ko. Naging fanboy. Anyway. So, how are you guys? How is it going? I hope you guys are safe and healthy as always. All right. Yan. Much better. Okay. Actually, kanina pa talaga ako gising. Like, 12? Past 12. Past 12 pa lang gising na ako. And, I just have to do some chores. Because no one else will do it but me. So, ayun. Now that I'm done, so yeah, I'm ready. Kasi I know you guys missed this. Not necessarily me or Shay, but this regular live sessions that we are doing. Okay. So yun. Okay. So, based on sa description kasi, I'm gonna talk about risk. All right, risk. I don't know if nakatagpo na kayo ng kapamilya, kaibigan, katrabaho na their vibe is like this. If they want to do something, they will jump right into it. Like right off the bat. Okay, I'm gonna jump right in. And that's cool. It's cool. It means that they have this kind of they have this kind of courage, all right, to jump right in whenever they want to. And that goes to show that also they really into that something or someone. That's the main reason why they would like to jump right into it right off the bat. And that's cool. Don't get me wrong. Of course, there are instances, there are moments in our life na, of course, naging ganun din tayo. Admit it or not. One way or the other. Different forms, probably. Yeah. But if you will think about it, there are instances na if that is the case, it not that I'm telling that it's always gonna end up or things will always go south. I'm not telling it, or I'm not gonna phrase it that way, because of course may mga instances na it works. All right, they will end up getting what they want and all, and they can live getting what they jump right into, and that's really good. Kudos. Should be the clap sound effect. I made a mistake. So yep. I mean kudos dun sa mga taong na nakuha kung ano man yung ninanais nila. Yeah. Tagalog. Yung ninanais nila matapos nilang suungin, all right? Or tumalon. Well, again, taking risks. Okay? To those na manonood pa lang or mag-view or manonood. Okay. We will be discussing about calculated risks. All right? Joe. Oh, kinahusap yung sarili. Hindi, kidding aside. Joe, what do you mean? Right? What do you mean by calculated risk? All right? So, let me share to you. By definition, ito na napulot ko to sa internet, and by far like bumping the results. Ito yung so far for me that catches my attention. Okay. So eto nga. Calculated risk taking or calculated risk involves a fair amount of research. Like it's with taking any risk. Like so ayun yun. So it's like also taking risk or taking like risk. All right? But the main key point on that specific definition of calculated risk is there's a fair amount of research. Let me continue. The result may not always be positive or favorable, of course, as usual. But at least you will have a fair idea of what's in store with you and the chances of succeeding or failing. All right. So, let's break it down a little bit. Okay. So, yung dun muna tayo sa first part. It's fair amount of research. The way ko siyang inintro kanina, yung topic natin for today, which is taking risk. Yun nga, yung tinanong ko sa inyo, if may kakilala kayo na, alam mo yun, will jump right into it, into something or someone. Without anything. Like, they just want to do it. And again, don't get me wrong. It's their call. Yeah. And there are instances that there's good that comes out of it. Pero ito yun. What's good about calculated risk? Kasi ito, the first time that I encountered this term, if my memory serves me right, it's way back college. Kasi I took up entrepreneurship. So yeah, as you know, it's business in nature. So in business, you have to have this, of course, research before you start a venture. All right. So eto yun. Calculated risk is first, of course, gauging or looking into what you are about to get into. Okay, so bago mo pasukin, sipatin mo muna. Bago mo ilagay yung sarili mo dun sa sitwasyon na yun, kailangan at least meron kang clear idea of what's you're about to get into. Which is dapat naman ganun palagi. Ideally at least ideally, dapat ganun parati. Kasi if we don't do that, we are setting ourselves into failure kasi. That's the main danger of it. Though napag-usapan na namin to ni Shay before na alam mo yun, it's okay to fail. Of course, there's always wisdom with failure. Yes, that's understandable. Pero of course, as much as possible, we should try to prevent it. Kasi of course, there's gonna be collateral damage. Whether if it's like physical, financial, emotional, or there's a lot of aspect that can be affected with failure, of course. Right? Yep. So let me continue. Dun pa lang tayo sa definition, no? So again, it's like taking any risk. Alright? So, dun tayo dun sa part na it may not always be positive or favorable. Guys, alam mo yun, yung calculated, the beauty of calculated risk kasi, you will take time, of course. You will take time in order for you to weigh things like, ayun na nga, yung you have to know what you are getting into. What are you really getting into? Yun yung dapat na unang tanong. Ano ba talaga yung papasukin mo? Let's say ganito ha. Ikaw na kakagaling, hindi naman kakagaling, or you've already assessed yourself na you are ready to get into a relationship again. Ganon natin sa gawing example ha. Gawin natin ganon yung example. You know to yourself that you are healed. You know to yourself that you are, alam mo yun, in all forms and in every aspects, you know to yourself that you can already involve yourself in a relationship. All right? Then someone came. Now the thing here is, you also like the person. Yeah, cool. You guys jive. All right? You guys can or wavelength wise, you guys, alam mo yun, nagme-meet yung wavelength nyo parehas, or if not meet, at least nagko-complement yung wavelength nyo sa isa't isa, which is good job. All right? Now the thing here is, deep down, you still feel that you're taking risk, because again, you will invest time. All right? You will invest emotion. Right? And alam mo yun, that there's, again, you will start back at square one. Kasi it's like natapos na yung previous chapter and you're gonna start another one. And pretty much, since most likely, you're not. It's not that you're not familiar anymore on how to play in that playing field again. But the thing is, at some point, you are still afraid because you're again risking yourself getting into a relationship. All right. To that specific example. Alright? So, eto yun. Eto na nga. So, of course, you will allot this time dito, kasi yung definition na yan is being applied usually sa on the business side of things. Alright? You will conduct researches, surveys, and all that stuff. Pero dito sa example natin, you will do the research in a manner that you will take time to get to know this person first. Diba? Again, diba? You're gonna be back on square one. And you'll have to do what needs to be done in order to make sure that you are not just gonna be just getting yourself involved in right off the bat, getting yourself into something na, alam mo yun, you don't want to be in the first place. Right? So, eto. So, yun na nga. You'll take time. You'll take time to know the person. You'll take time to know if you guys will have this common ground. You will take time. And I mean, based on the definition, okay, ano to eh, hindi naman laging magiging favorable eh, yung mga results. Okay? Hindi laging magiging kung ano yung pinipicture out mo, hindi laging yun yung magmamanifest or magmamaterialize. And that's normal. Usually kasi, I always tell this to people na nasa ganyang situation. Don't expect too much. Kasi expectation leads to frustration. That's usually what happens. And I always tell them here's the best way. Since you guys are still into the getting to know each other stage, in order for you to have more, you have to expect less. And that's the best way to go. That's the best way in order to how to deal with it. That primary and critical stage. Actually, that's the start, but that's very critical in terms of taking calculated risks. All right? So, we'll move on. Okay? We'll move on. Now, but at least you will have a fair idea of what's in store with you and the chances. Okay. So, ito na nga yun. Andun pa lang tayo sa definition, guys, ha? So, ito. You will have already an idea on ano ba itong papasukin mo? Sino ba itong papapasukin mo sa buhay mo ulit? Diba? Kasi of course, you guys will take time to know each other. And of course, you will have to eventually open yourself up again. And that's not easy. That's not an easy thing to do, but it's doable, of course. Gaya ng lagi kong sinasabi. Walang madali sa buhay na to. But it doesn't mean na hindi siya doable. So, ayun. Pero at least, 'di ba? Doon nga sa definition, 'di ba? What's in store with you? All right. So, what's in store with you, whether it ends up favorable or not? So, for me, the main reason why I want to introduce this term or this idea of taking risk, which is calculated risk, is that this is to avoid, or at least to prevent, or should I say minimize the potential damage that it might inflict in your well-being. So that's the main purpose of this. All right. I hope that I'm making sense, because guys, let's face it. All right, real talk. Sino ba naman yung gusto na, hala, sige, bara-bara lang, hala, sige, go, yeet, yeet, hala, sige. Alam mo yun, di ba? Kung magbigay tayo ng example, ha, sa boxing, okay, usually naman, hindi yun hindi ka lang lalaban ka agad-agad. Halimbawa, kapag nakahanap na yung promoter mo ng mga kalaban mo, like, hindi ka naman agad-agad isasalang sa laban. There's gonna be training. There's gonna be, of course, you will watch the things, alam mo yun, you will watch the things that your opponent is doing, why he is winning, things like that. So that's, to apply that example or analogy, that means you have to, alam mo yun, you're not setting yourself up for failure by at least considering doing or taking calculating the risks. Kasi there's always gonna be good and not so good parts that might happen by taking risk itself. But knowing that you will at least consider to make use of calculated risk, that means that at least you know to yourself that this is the things that might happen. These are the things that I might experience. And at the end of the day, if it comes out good, then good job. Congratulations. If it doesn't, then at least, okay. Pasabi, okay, ganun pala talaga yun. Ganun pala yun. And then, you'll have this realization na in the future, you may not want to do that same thing all over again in order for you to get a different kind of result. Yeah? Cool? Alright. So, I have also checked several pros and cons. Alright? Several pros and cons, mga friends. Pros and cons. So, eto. Okay? Kahit sa anong risk naman na papasukin natin, there's always gonna be fear of, embarrassment. Thinking of what other people around us will say. Kumbaga parang that's really something. Yung parati mong iniisip yung sasabihin ng iba. Parati mong inaalala kung ano yung pwedeng masabi sa'yo after mong i-take yung risk. Whether if it's just risk, or calculated risk. Whether if it ends up good or not so good, you would really hear people around you saying something, and usually it's not good. But friends, always remember, okay, at the end of the day, it's gonna be us who will reap the fruit of the risk that we took, not them. So why bother? I mean, real talk na lang. In general, hindi ko alam kung bakit, pero parang set by default to. Kahit anong gawin mo, kahit anong gawin talaga natin, meron talaga masasabi yung ibang tao. Is it as if may alam sila sa kung ano man yung, alam mo yun, what's happening behind the scene? Ang weird pa kasi yung mga taong to, wala naman talagang alam. Ang tanging alam lang nila is magsalita, alam mo yun, nagsabi lang ng kung ano-ano, basta mema lang. Samantalang yung mga tao na, alam mo yun, yung mga tao sa circle of friends or family members or yung mga taong nakakakilala at nakakaalam ng kung ano man yung nangyayari, they don't even say something, which is weird. Kung sino pa yung mga taong may alam, yung pa yung mga, alam mo yun, kasi they know what's going on. They know what's the real deal. That's why they don't say shit. Sorry for the language, but that's how I just want to put it. That's how I want to emphasize that part. So don't mind. Don't mind those people around you. Kasi bakit? If you get something good about the risk that you're currently taking right now, who's gonna be happy? It's you. Diba? Hindi naman sila magiging masaya kapag naging masaya ka. Right? So, kahit sabihin na natin, okay, it's the other way around. Things went south. Okay? Hindi na maging maganda. hindi naging maganda yung outcome, sino magsasuffer? It's you. It's you who took the risk. It's you who decide to, to let things happen. It's not the people around you guys. I don't know who needs to hear this. Okay? Pero yun, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid because at the end of the day, whatever risk that you want to take right now, I'm sure that you will learn out of it. I'm so sure. So don't mind the people around you. Alright? So, ayun. Okay. So, yung pangalawa, ano ba? I don't think that this is, a cons. Most probably, this is the thing that we are so afraid of. Okay? When we take risk in general, whether if it's, the usual risk or the calculated risk. Okay? It's injury. Injury in what way, Joe? Injury, let's say it's a business venture. Of course, it's gonna hurt your financial aspect if things go south. If, diba? Kasi of course, you invested money, diba? You invest finances, your savings. And then, get scammed probably. Diba? But in some other example, let's say, alam mo yun, syempre normal naman na that's normal na takot tayong sino ba naman gustong masaktan? 'Di ba? Injury in part emotional injury per se. Let me phrase it that way. 'Di ba? Sino nga ba naman gusto nun, 'di ba? Of course, no one. Pero then again, kaya nga nasabi ko kanina, you will learn. You will learn out of it. And I know it's easy said than done. But still, it's doable. Again, hindi madali, pero posible. If let's say you experience that kind of, damage on whatever aspect when you took the risk, just think of it this way. When you were a kid, when you're starting to walk, lucky you kung hindi ka nadadapa or hindi ka nadapa or whatever. Pero usually, madadapa at madadapa ka when you are trying to walk. Or kahit obserbahan mo yung bata mo, pamangkin, pinsan, diba? Or yung anak mo, ganun. Pansinin mo yung mga bata. Kahit madapa sila, they will just get up and continue walking. Because why? Because they want to learn how to walk in order for them to play, to run. And I think that's something that we should learn from the kids. If you tripped, rest if you must. Heal. But don't stay. Don't stay down. Get up. Get up and move that step. Kasi you won't be able to go somewhere. You won't go far if you don't move forward. If you don't take that very big, bold first step. That's for that point. Okay? Okay. So, ito. Dislike. Okay. The dislike of the experience. Yeah. May mga tao or may mga siguro kilala kayo na when they took the risk. Okay. And it went south. Maririnig mo sila ng ganito eh. Sana hindi ko na lang siya nakilala. Sana ganito, sana ganito, ganyan. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not trying to invalidate that kind of, alam mo yun, siguro baka dala ng emotional outburst. Yeah, point taken. Pero eventually, you will realize, you don't really dislike the fact that you experienced those. Kasi at the end of the day, mind you, you took the risk. Kaya nga yun yung sinasabi ko eh. Calculated risk is always better than taking risk. Because why? You would realize and you would have a glimpse, not just glimpse even. You would have an idea of what you can what you should expect, whether if it's good or bad. Para kapag dumating yung point na let's say things went south, at least you can tell yourself that, well, at least I tried. Well, at least it's not, at least it's not me. It's not me who will, who will lose more because you gained an additional experience, you gained additional wisdom out of something that didn't really materialize unfavorable outcomes. Diba? So, ayun. So, that's the three things why we don't really want to take risk. So, eto na ngayon. Eto na yung good parts. Okay. Ito na yung mga good parts na ito eh. Yung first is that, of course, gaya nga ng sinasabi ko kanina pa, you will gain new experience. I don't know what kind of experience that is. But I'll leave that to you guys. But the experience that I am trying to, the experience that I'm referring to is the experience that you get to meet this person. You get to meet a new dynamic. You get to experience that there's this kind of people pala. Parang ganun. So konyo. Parang, so ganun. You guys get it. Na, alam mo yun, kahit hindi nag-end up na maganda yung outcome, at least I get to realize that there's people like this. People like this exist. There are people that, alam mo yun, works this way. Right? So that's it. That's the beauty of taking risk. You will get to see a different view eh. And that will also, alam mo yun, asan na isang point, sorry. Ayun. When you experience something new, alright, when you experience something new, of course, you will gain more knowledge out of it. And that's for sure. Again, gaya nga ng sabi ko kanina, wag mo nang isipin yung sasabihin ng iba. Wag mo nang iisipin kung ano pa yung pwede nilang masabi kasi bakit? At the end of the day, kahit maganda o hindi yung maging epekto ng risk na iti-take mo, it's gonna be you yourself who will, will take the hit if it's not good. It's you who will gain happiness if it ends up if it ends up being successful. But still, alam mo yun, it takes really a high level of of maturity when you take risk. Kasi ganito kasi yun. Yung parang kahit hindi maging maganda yung outcome pag nag-take ka ng risk. Alam mo yun, hindi mo na masyadong iisipin yung negative parts eh. Kasi ang papakaisipin mo na lang yung mga bago mong experiences and knowledge na na-acquire. And that should speak a lot of volume. And I don't know who needs to hear this. Baka ito na yung sign na inaantay mo. Just take that risk. Or should I say, take a calculated risk. Kasi you may never know eh. Kasi again, let me reiterate this part. If you want a different outcome, if you want a different result, please do something differently. Don't expect that something will change if you keep on doing the same thing. Yep, and Chinky is watching. Thank you. So yun. What else? I think I also have 3. Okay. So I still have 2. So if you take risk, di ba? Banggit ko na, new experience, new knowledge, right? It's 2. Third is, you may unexpectedly find a new favorite or something that will keep you going. Let's say hindi man maging maganda yung outcome ng risk. Meron kang bagong let's say hobby, or meron kang bagong lugar na pwedeng mapuntahan. Let's say kapag alam mo yun, if you need to unwind and all that stuff, 'di ba? You're gonna find a new favorite hobby, favorite place to go, favorite food to eat. Diba? And that's something. And that will add up to the new dynamic that you already have. And alam mo yun, that's something na you don't wanna miss out. And then of course, you can meet new people. You can meet new people. Let's say, ito yun ha. Kung ikaw, sa tingin mo, this is related to self-preservation na tinapik ko kaninang madaling araw. Alam mo yun, if let's say, exhausted ka na sa current job na meron ka, it's not already nurturing anymore. You don't seem to find any growth or what. Alam mo yun, it's also a risk if you wanna jump into a new job. It's a risk. But what if, alam mo yun, you get to meet new people. Kasi eto, naniniwala kasi ako dun sa part na there are a lot of reasons why someone will stay, let's say, in a company. And one of the top reasons is the environment, and that includes the people you are working with. Diba? And that will nurture you, help you grow in your career, at the same time you're earning. Diba? It's a win-win. Let's say in a relationship, 'di ba? Sabihin na natin, okay, break up, all right? But then, you went back to to your friends, your family member, and then, they were able to introduce you to other set of people, new people. Diba? And that's something. That's something that you don't also want to miss out. Alam mo yun, siguro guys, ganito na lang. I'm almost done though. Everything in life is a risk. Lalo pa ngayon, 'di ba? Lalo pa ngayon, it's pandemic. Alam mo 'yun? Everything in life is a risk. It's a gamble. But see, that's the beauty of it, eh. At least for me. That's the beauty of it. It's risky. But if you just consider, alam mo yun, before jumping right into it, why not just take a look at it first? Observe. Observe first. And then, ask yourself if you are into it. And if there's and if those two questions has been answered and all conditions are met, then by all means go. By all means go. If you're the person, okay, that right now is looking for a sign na should I take this risk? Like, should I let this person in? Mga ganun. Should I do this in order to improve our relationship? Probably this is the sign that you're looking for. You may want to do something different this time in order to get a different result. Whatever that result is, it's for you to figure out. Because of course, it's you who will observe. It's you who will observe and will gauge the possible outcomes. And if you want, I can make time. You guys can simply send me a PM or what. Alam mo yun? I'm all ears. So yun. Risk is constant. That's for sure. Risk is constant. But fear is a choice. Fear is always a choice. Pero ang hindi risky, guys, alam niyo kung ano? Yung mag-subscribe guys sa YouTube channel ko. Yan! Naipasok pa talaga. Good job! So, yun yung hindi risky. That I'm sure of. Why? Kasi there's my YouTube channel houses previous live sessions that you may want to watch. Also, you may want to like the videos, share it if you want. If you've learned something out of it and you want to share it with your friends. You may want to hit that bell icon if you want to be notified kung may bago akong video na uploaded. Alright? If let's say you've missed one of the live sessions, then you can replay. You can simply replay. So, ayun. That's it. Again, risk is always there. But fear is a choice. Fear on taking risk is a choice. Time check, it's 5:03 p.m. Alright. Guys, kung lalabas kayo, please bring an umbrella. Kasi may bagyo. Pero parang ngayon lang ata nag-ulan sa Metro Manila. You guys stay safe, okay? Always follow safety protocols if you need to go out. Wear face mask, face shield, maintain social distancing as always. Bring your alcohol and para makapag-disinfect ka anytime. And yeah. That's about it. So yun. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.